We're going to devote our energies to sports and gardening, all the cultural pursuits as far as they're concerned. In fact, we're going to put the goons to sleep. Meanwhile, we dig.
Greetings and welcome to the Anadromous. This is Byrne Power coming to you from a beautiful blue spring day here in Tbilisi, Georgia. And I want to get outside and go into it, but I need to make this short video first. Some of you may have been wondering, where'd you go, Byrne? That is, although I did release a video last week, but I'm just getting behind on them. So I thought I would explain a few things. One of the reasons I'm getting behind is just, what can I say, the nature of the times. This whole war thing is really like a kind of weighing on everything. And it's certainly affecting my Georgian friends. It's certainly, you can't avoid it on the news. And frankly, I'm getting a headache trying to look through the propaganda to understand what's going on. And there's just so much of everybody's propaganda. Everybody seems to be infected by something. And I'm trying not to be infected, but it's impossible. Everyone gets infected by this stuff. And I've had conversations with people who just seem to, something starts in Soviet media and it ends up here in a different form, but you recognize, okay, this came from there. Why am I dealing with this? Because you have to listen to all sides. Well, what Jacques Ellul says about it, when there are two conflicting propagandas fighting each other, you don't come to a middle position. You basically just feel slugged from both sides. And, of course, it's not just two sides. There's plenty of sides in this struggle. So, anyway, I'm not going to go on, but it's just that whole thing. But like I say, also here in Georgia, we've had a lot of refugees. Interestingly enough, about 2,000 of them are actually from Ukraine. But another 25 to 30,000 are actually Russians fleeing from Russia. And that's created its own interesting tension. I feel a little bit like we're in something like Rick's at Casablanca. It's just like, what's going on here? How many different kinds of people are there? There's no intrigue, but there's definitely political tension. And then the Georgians themselves are all there's different political factions here. There's one that actually wants to join up with Russia or be totally pro-Russia again. And then there's so many of the other people are just absolutely hate what's going on in Russia and Ukraine. And then there's the government who's trying to maintain something like balance, but is it really balance? But that's created a lot of tension. It's just that kind of stuff. It goes on, it gets into your brain, all of this stuff. And we have to remember that there are basically three main areas of this war. And of course, there's Ukraine, where people are dying. Thousands of people are dying. Cities are being obliterated. There are atrocities being committed. And there's all of that. But then there's Russia. And Russia is making it illegal, for instance, to call the war. They have to call it a special operation. So that means that all the Russians are under this embargo that if they say war, they could go to jail for 15 years. They could go to prison for 15 years. Think about that. I mean, we talk about censorship in America. No, that is censorship. All the stuff happening on the media and whether you get canceled or not, it's not good, but it's not on the same scale at all. There's the real thing and then there's the virtual thing, whatever that is. And don't forget, the third place that so much has been changing is Poland. We tend to not think about them, but in fact, when a country receives 2 million immigrants practically overnight, that changes everything for them. And they are also ramping up their military service because they have to. They feel that Russia could easily come over the border. So there's that. And Georgia is its own little sphere. Remember, we're on the border with Russia. There are Russian troops from the breakaway republics that Russia is guarding over there, 30 kilometers away. 30 kilometers is what, like 20 miles? So that's why we're in a weird zone. And that's kind of affected my mentality for the last month or so. Meanwhile, if you're wanting more of my content than you've been getting because I've been distracted by everything around me, then I would suggest I have been working slowly to finish up my Prague diaries. There are 9 of them now. And if most of these you would love if you're a regular Anadromous watcher. And I would suggest going over to Georgian Crossroads, sign up, can't hurt, it would help me, but go over there and watch some of them. I mean, the subject matter ranges from, an old mysterious store selling antiques to Czech film animation, puppet animation, to have got, of course, a couple episodes on the protests about the war when they broke out. But then there's Prague at night in the dark, all in black and white, kind of eerie. And then I did interviews with my friends from the puppet troupe Bukti a Lodki, which gets around to the subject of, what is reality? What's happening to the tactile world we're living in? And the one I just put down is on 3 art museums in Prague. Prague is often known for its castle, its Baroque architecture, and all of these sorts of things. But in fact, there's some amazing art there. And I walk through different galleries and I talk about the art. And again, this is just perfect for anyone watching this channel. So go over to Georgian Crossroads and watch some of my Prague diaries and, of course, the other stuff on Georgia. Meanwhile, what have I been working on? Well, I must say I am working to finish the How We Got Here series, number 13, and I have well over an hour of it finished. But the problem is, as 2022 has suddenly mutated everything into a different zone. So, yeah, it's the same How We Got Here series, but now the here is changing. And I am not going to make anything about, say, starting with Biden's presidency and going through to the present, endless pandemic stuff, and then finally coming to this war in Ukraine and what that all means. I'm not going to cover any of that for maybe 10 years or whatever, if I'm still doing this then. So, number 13, How We Got Here, the Annus Horribilis 2020 will be the last one for the foreseeable future. But like I say, the problem has been, how do I interpret these things now? Because they had one feeling at the time, but now they feel like something else. So I'm trying to make sense out of it, but hopefully very soon. I really hope so. I'm well on the way. I've got all the material. It's just how to put it together. I've also been getting ideas for many other new videos, and some of these will be released soon. For instance, I've got one called Hierarchies of Interpretation, which I'll just let that sit out as kind of a fancy sounding title. Then I've got another one, this one probably take a while to work on, called The Spectrum of Images. Another kind of strange, fancy title. I'll let you wonder what that one's about. Meanwhile, coming up very soon will be the 20 greatest puppet films. Believe me, this is not going to be a fun Muppet-related video. This is going to be quite serious, and eventually there will be a much longer version of the same video over on my Gravity from Above website, which is there. You should check it out. But other ideas, and tell me if any of these, what sounds most interesting to you of these. I want to do one, the countries with the most important cinema cultures. Another one, my top 10 European cities. Someone said, Byrne, you've traveled to different European cities. Which are your favorite? Maybe you could give us a list. And I thought, that's an idea. Another one, this one's fairly far along the way of development. The top 10 circus, carnival, and clown movies. Also, this one almost sounds funny, but it's not. My top 10 favorite atheists, which is strange because I'm a Christian. Nevertheless, I get a lot of good meat from atheists. And I'm not talking agnostics here. I'm talking people, no God. Nevertheless, sometimes these people are really worth listening to. Then there's one I've been thinking about for a long time called The Cute and the Creepy. This would be at least a 2 or 3 parter. And it's about the infectiousness of cuteness and the strangeness of what we now call creepy, which was never creepy before. Why do people consider clowns to be creepy? I find that really bizarre because they never were. I mean, when I grew up, I never considered a clown creepy. And why do girls apply the word creepy to certain guys? What is creepy? What is cute? Why can messages be smuggled in under the doctrine of cute? Well, this is one I want to do a really good job on, so it's going to take a while. Speaking of doing a really good job, the one that I promised over a year ago was a new series on tourism and reality. And actually what I've been doing since then is serious research. I've read 3 books. When I was in Prague, I really took a lot of photographs of crazy tourist-related stuff while I was there. And of course, I've been watching videos and thinking about my own experiences in the tourism industry and keeping an eye on what people actually do when they travel. And also asking, why is it there are certain places everybody wants to go, then they go there and ruin them? Meanwhile, the places they live in, why are the small towns of America being emptied out in the name of there's nothing to do here? That's the kind of stuff we're going to talk about in tourism and reality. But that one, you can push all you want. That's going to come when it comes. And one thing that has to happen before I can even think about that is I have to finish up how we got here. And so, there you go. So, there's also, let me give you a few personal updates here. I told you about kind of like just the weird mental pressure of the war thing, which, like I say, I'm getting along fine, but you can just feel it as part of the daily reality. And I think if you're further away, you feel it as well. But, I feel like we've got a front row seat here, and we're really hoping the game doesn't spill out of the ring. So, but bringing the container here, where are we? Oh, where we are is here. The costs have gone through the roof. So I have to wait until they go down. Either that or I'm going to have to find more money. And I'm just trying to get an idea. Everything, if I could have brought it here in 2020, which was before I did the campaign to raise money, if I could have done it then, it would have been $5,000. But I didn't have a place to bring it to. Now I have a place to bring it to, but now it's like, oh no, this is just, it's at least double that. So, but I'm hoping it goes down. But more importantly, then I've been starting to, I would say, I want to bring this here this year. I've started looking into the Georgian customs rules. And essentially, I have to go through and list everything I'm bringing. Did you hear what I just said? I have to list everything I'm bringing. Do you have any idea how much junk I have? There's 13,000 records and CDs. That's a lot of listing. There is endless, there's books and there's movies and there's all sorts of other stuff and there's some furniture. So here's the thing. They also then want 18% customs tax on it. It's just, I've got a conference lined up with someone coming up in a couple of weeks where I'm going to talk as someone who works with expats, expatriates, and see what I can do. For instance, all my movies and music, there's no way to sell any of that stuff here, so therefore it's worth nothing. At most, $1 a piece. So I'm going to get it done, But you see what I'm up against. I mean, I don't have the money to give real prices on my records. If I was moving to France or the Netherlands, my stuff would be worth a ton of money. But here, no, it's not worth much at all. I'm not bringing it here to make it worth anything. I'm bringing it here because I need it here to work. You need me to get it so that you can get better videos. Anyway, the truth of the matter is life has been pretty good. And I've been getting up in the mornings, walking around. I get up like 6 or 7 in the morning and walk through the lovely park near me. I've walk up the side of the mountain a bit, sit and read. I've been reading the Iliad lately. That's not bad, is it? Also, I've been going out more, and my friends from the Tbilisi Chamber Theater have started doing shows again. Right now they did a Beckett piece called Oh Happy Days, and it was great just to go to the theater, not just a movie, but to see live human beings moving around and talking. And also, they're going to do a puppet show next of Don Quixote, which I'm really looking forward. And they said I could film, take images of that as they're constructing the show. Also, I've been spending time with the Georgi Alexidze ballet troupe as they've been preparing a show. And so I spent about 2 weeks with them, taking a lot of photographic and video imagery of them. So those things are great. I'm starting to kind of get myself back. It's tough because you got to wrench yourself out of all of the garbage that's coming down. But you need to know what's happening. But you don't need all the kind of like those voices in your head arguing with each other. But what can you do? You have to live in this world. So anyway, this probably isn't the place to tell you to like and subscribe and everything. This is just an update video, but you can do that. And we're going to leave it here. And thanks for coming to the channel. Usually these update videos get only, a couple of hundred views. Thanks for watching. And go over to Georgian Crossroads to get more of the Byrne you're missing. And coming up very soon, we will have hierarchies of interpretation, and maybe after that, how we got here, number 13. So, take care. From Tbilisi, this is Byrne saying, remember, Anadromous is a word that describes fish, an adjective that describes fish going up the stream, up against the waters. Do that. Go against the stream. Don't float downstream. Go upstream. Get back to home.
A people without history is not redeemed from time. For history is a pattern of timeless moments.